So tell me, is this what a real man looks like? Self-improvement is masturbation, not self-destruction. Alright, y'all, today we're going to be talking about Fight Club, which according to the first two rules, we're not supposed to talk about it. So I'm being joined today by my man Anthony A. Perez. This is part of our Tit for Tat series where we pick movies out for each other that we normally would not watch. So this was kind of a random one because I'm really trying to get him into the blaxploitation movies and like black cinema, but for some reason Fight Club popped in my head. It's one of my favorite movies. I haven't seen it in a while. So I said, okay, I'm going to get Perez to help me talk about Fight Club because this is almost a hard movie to talk about. By the way, going into spoilers here, heavy spoilers, so if you have not seen Fight Club, especially the way the movie ended, stop this video, watch it, come back, and let's talk about it. And by the way, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, Anthony A. Perez. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Check him out. He talks about movies like myself. And once again, I'm thankful that he's joining me on this because this is almost a hard movie to talk about. But I love it. And what I love about Fight Club is that you can show this movie to 10 different people and you will probably get 10 different reactions to it as far as what the movie meant to them. This is one of those movies where I think everybody can take away something different from it. Now, from what I took away from it is just fucking live. You know what I mean? Like, all right, if you want to watch a family version, a family PG version of a story of redemption and living your life and, you know, conquering your fears and living your dreams, watch a movie like Soul or Inside Out or any like Disney Pixar movie that's a good picker-upper, all right? But if you want some real gritty shit, especially geared towards men past their 30s, all right, this is the movie for you. Because Edward Norton's character, who doesn't have a name in this movie, he's just the narrator, he's a 30-something white-collar guy who was bored with life. Everything, like he said, is a copy of a copy of a copy. He can't sleep. He just has no purpose. He feels he has no worth. You know what I mean? And because of this, his mind creates this alter ego, this imaginary friend, Tyler Durden, who is everything that he wants to be. You know, physically, everything, intellectually, you know, the way he fucks, everything. He wants to be like Tyler Durden. After Edward Norton and Tyler have their first fight together, or I guess technically Edward Norton was fighting himself, they start this cult called Fight Club with a like-minded group of men who are also tired of their everyday lives, their mundane lives. You know, they're waiters and people that really don't matter in society that the higher-ups really frown upon. And at Fight Club, they have a chance to be somebody and be something special. And it all falls into Tyler's grand scheme of things, which unfolds at the end of the movie. When did men stop being men? You know, like Edward Norton's character, his idea of a good night was flipping through catalogs, ordering shit. Like, you know, like you said, well, what kind of dining room set or what kind of living room set defines me? Men don't think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Men, we were made hunters. You know, we're the hunters. We're the fucking warriors. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies were made to hunt and kill. You know, now a lot of us just sit around and drink and watch old school movies, like myself. Anyways, before I get into the rest of my thoughts on Fight Club, let's hear what Anthony Perez has to say about it. Perez, the floor is yours, homie.
Going on, Rashad and all his viewers, thank you so much, my friend, for having me here in another video to talk about Fight Club, starring Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, Helena Bonham Carter, and directed by David Fincher. This is one of those films that's so easily just one of the most iconic and most quotable films of that era. It's also one of those movies that I very much remember seeing the posters of in almost every teenage boy's room, or like, you know, you go to a college campus or you just see pictures of people's college rooms and you would just see that poster in the back. The poster art of this movie is incredibly iconic, and I just remember so many people just quoting this movie as I was growing up, a lot of film fans, and I guess we're kind of breaking the first rule about Fight Club by even talking about it. But yeah, this is just one of those iconic films in David Fincher's lineup of his filmography. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. On almost every level, on a technical level, I think this movie is damn near perfect. It does a great job of creating a story that has rewatchability, a story with a great reveal at the end that allows you to kind of see things from a different perspective when you rewatch the film and kind of have that recontextualized information. On top of that, I think the film is just incredibly well acted. It's well shot. I love the way that the film looks. There's something about the color palette of the film, the color saturation, that very much kind of has that, you know, David Fincher kind of vibe. If you're into films like Seven, you can definitely feel that this definitely has that same kind of vibe while also being very unique to itself. It's got great music throughout, and it's just a very well directed, well put together film that just tells a really cohesive narrative that, again, when the big reveal happens at the end of the movie, you can go back and rewatch the movie and kind of see the little subtle hints and nods as to where this movie was going that you probably wouldn't have picked up on when you watched it for your very first time. I also want to apologize for taking so long to get this video to you. I've just been so caught up with life, but I definitely wanted to be able to rewatch this movie because it's a David Fincher classic. It's a film that I remember very well, filmed with a lot of really great moments and incredible, incredible performances. I would argue this is probably one of, if not my favorite Edward Norton performance, and definitely one of my favorite Brad Pitt performances. This is a film that I just have a lot of fun with every time I watch it. It's got a good, fun, cohesive narrative, again, that has a really great reveal at the end and allows you to rewatch the movie and kind of see it from a different perspective. Because sometimes there's those films that kind of reveal something near the end, and then when you rewatch it, it doesn't ever have those subtle hints and nods that kind of make sense for that reveal at the end. You know, it's supposed to be a shocking moment at the end, but those pieces weren't there throughout the course of the film. Whereas once you get the reveal for this movie, if you go back and revisit the film, you can see the subtle hints and nods and the pieces slowly kind of leading up to that reveal. I really thoroughly enjoy that about this film. And just on almost every level, I find this to be a perfect film. Of course, there are going to be some slow moments of the film, but I think for the most part, this is a solid movie, a movie that a lot of guys like. And it's a movie that I think a lot of women can enjoy as well. You know, it's definitely a very masculine film, but it's a really good movie in and of itself, and I do highly recommend it. So a big thanks to Rashad for having me here in this video. I appreciate you having me going back and revisiting this 1999 classic directed by David Fincher. Great performances, solid movie, and a movie I highly recommend. I'll go ahead and give it back to you now, my friend. Thank you again for having me in another video.
All right, and I gotta say this, around the time this movie came out, I think Fox did not know how to advertise it, because when I first saw the trailer, when I first heard about Fight Club, I thought it was like an actual movie about fighting, you know what I'm saying? I had no idea that it was gonna have the kind of message that it ended up conveying. And so the movie bombed at the box office. The movie didn't make a lot of money at all. I think domestically it made like 37 million. So it did shitty at the box office. Worldwide it made 100 million, which is not a loss, because I think it had a budget of $60 million. So it's not a loss, but it didn't do as well as they thought it would. And I think it's because it was ahead of its time. I think people just were not ready for a movie like this yet. A movie like Fight Club is really relevant today, especially among this soft generation now. You know what I'm saying? We need a movie like Fight Club. And I just feel like, you know, it was just ahead of its time. Like I said, you know, Roger Ebert gave it a shitty grade. He said it started out good, but then it just became, I think he called it male porn or masculine porn or something like that. He called it. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first watched it, I was very intrigued. But the first time I watched Fight Club, I really didn't get it. Now, shout out to my boy Brandon, who put me onto this. All right, when I worked at Blockbuster, my coworker Brandon, he was really into movies. He was like the freaking Seattle, Washington version of Quentin Tarantino. The guy just had like endless movie vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? And he put me on the Fight Club. And when I first watched it, I really didn't get it, especially when it came to the Project Mayhem stuff. When I first watched it, by the time I got to Project Mayhem, it was starting to lose me a little bit. But this is one of those movies where each time I watched it, it got better and better. So now, after I think I've seen Fight Club about a total of maybe 10 times. You know what I mean? Each time I watch it, I enjoy it even more. And Edward Norton, unfortunately, his career kind of got derailed, not by this movie, but later on, because he had a reputation of being difficult. He had a reputation of coming on to movies and demanding so much screen time, so much dialogue. But a movie like this, it worked in his favor, you know what I'm saying? So what a lot of studios and shit thought was annoying and trouble worked perfectly for this film. I think Edward Norton is incredible in this movie, and Brad Pitt is incredible, you know what I'm saying? That those two just work so well together. And when that reveal comes at the end, which when you go back and watch the movie after you see the reveal, you see a lot of things do make sense. But then again, a lot of things don't make sense because the question is always, was I sleeping? You know, how long have I been asleep? So there's sometimes he's watching himself being Tyler Durden. There's sometimes he's just totally immersed into that character. And there's times where it's him, but he isn't aware of the shit that he did as Tyler. You know what I'm saying? Almost on some Jekyll and Hyde shit. This is almost like an origin story of like the Joker or something. You know what I'm saying? I thought about Heath Ledger's Joker and how he's an agent of chaos. And I'm like, this is kind of like a villain origin story. But despite some of his flaws that you can nitpick about, I think this is an awesome fucking movie. I think this is a movie that, you know, men need to watch and take something away from this, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, channel your inner fucking man. You know what I'm saying? Be a fucking man. All right? We don't wear lavender, damn it. We wear brute. I just can't believe I just said fucking brute. I forgot to mention, great job by David Fincher. I think this is his second movie after Seven, which is also really good. I might have to review that one also, man. Seven is one of the best cop movies ever made, with another fucking twist that kind of made you say, oh shit. You know, kind of makes your stomach turn a little bit. So yeah, I might need to review Seven, and Fight Club I think is the follow-up, and man did he knock it out of the park with this movie. Did very bad at the box office, but it has a cult following. It is a fucking smash hit on home media, and there you go, man. So Fox, it wasn't such a bad investment after all. So anyways, y'all, Fight Club gets an easy A in my book. And also shout out to Helena Bonham Carter. She was Marla Singer. She was awesome in this movie as well. Mrs. Tim Burton herself. You know, Meatloaf was in here, you know, with his you know, bitch tits. And a very young Jared Leto, who I enjoyed when Edward Norton beat the shit out of him. For some reason, I just got great satisfaction out of that. Not that I don't like Jared Leto, but he's just so pretty, you know. He's just a pretty boy, you know.
I never liked you anyway, pretty motherfucker.
Anyways, Fight Club gets an A in my book. Perez, thank you for joining me in this video. I enjoyed talking Fight Club, watching it again. This is a very awesome fucking movie. I love it. And that's it, y'all. That's all I got. So if you like and dig this content, hit that like and subscribe notification bell in the corner. Don't forget to subscribe to Anthony A. Perez. I'm going to leave the link in the description. And comment freely what you thought below about Fight Club. And that's all I got, y'all. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.